Every tribe genuinely have an agenda in Nigeria. If you don't know, Yoruba man has an agenda in Nigeria. The Hausa man, of course, you know the agenda. Even without being told, you know the agenda. My next neighbors, who are the job people, close neighbors, they have an agenda. Where are the bodies they use to actualize this agenda? They have the IYC now. They have the INC. These are bodies that they use to actualize their agenda, to foster their agenda. Name one agenda, if not to build houses and make the different kind of competition in Nigeria, competing with each other. Igbo man competing with Igbo man. I built this, I built it. This Christmas, you see, that is the only thing they will go for, to go and showcase their wealth. So you want to come to our land to come and enslave us the second time and colonize us the second time? Or if there was any first time at all? There was no such thing. As we are in this dispensation, we should now start answering that we are Benin. Is that not foolishness? And the Benin man is far bigger than Benin one. Even in landmass and everything, we are more bigger than them. It's just that they were fortunate to have this kingship something, and everybody, there was an empire there. The empire was a
conglomerate.
Call it again.
Conglomerate.
Thank you.
Of many
different ethnic groups and all that. Who were there? And later some of them decided to, let's go back to just like Israelites. So you will not say Israelites are Egyptians. They lived there for 40 something or 100 something years.
So many years.
So many years. And now you want to call them Egyptians? Some people no get sense for this. Some people no get sense. I don't know why people they behave like this. Huh? So I am sorry I'm getting this loud. It's not in my person to get loud. But then some of these occurrences provokes me. It provokes me. So that is why I really want to welcome the launching of this page. I really want to welcome it. And I really want to thank you also because when I called you, I was the one who called you. I called you, say, please, this gospel you're preaching, this is the right gospel. I've been waiting for it. I may not have had the wherewithal to kickstart this gospel. But then, I really appreciate the fact that you're kickstarting it, and that is why I need to join you to start this gospel, to propagate and spread this gospel. I was the one who called you. So I really want to thank you for honoring this invitation once again.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Your anger is a righteous one, a righteous anger, and it is well understood. And I must commend your passion and your truthfulness to propagate the gospel of the unification of Igbo. I'm still pondering over the question that you asked earlier. What is the agenda of the Igbo man? And ever since that we've been speaking here, I've pondered on that question and I couldn't find no answer. I couldn't find any answer. But something inside me spoke that the Igbo already has an agenda. What is the agenda? To first of all unify. To first of all bring the people together. The greatest gift an Igbo man will have in this Christmas, if there is anything like Christmas, is to have his brothers, the Ikwere, the Aba, the Ndoni, the Ika, the Ukwani, the rest of our Nyoma people all coming together. Because only then can we have a genuine agenda. Okay, this is what it is for the Igbo nation. What we can achieve within the next 20 years. That will beget the next 50 years. That will beget the next 100 years. Is only the Igbo man as of now, that is not making plan for 100 years. Everybody wants to get it now. What can we get now? What car can we buy now? What house can we buy now? Can we build now? Forgetting that the house that is built today in the next 20 years will be out of fashion. It might even collapse. And the children that you are building these houses for, making this money for, might not even want to live there. So what can we do to sustain, to really save the Igbo? Because the Ikwere, as I am meant to understand, does not have one central dialect that they speak as, this is Ikwere. You are from
Odegen. I'm from Odegen. We have over 60 something clans in Ikwere land.
And you speak differently.
All of them speak different, except for few that when they speak, you will understand.
Then that is why here in Port Harcourt, everybody speaks English or
That
Pidgin.
is why we all speak English.
And that is why the language
That is why
is dying.
it's on extinction.
It's on extinction.
On a rapid extinction.
Because I've met some Ikwere people, when I speak Igbo, they hear it, they understand it. I expect them to speak back.
Mr. Chukwemeka,
Yes.
let me tell you this thing.
Okay.
This is not because I want to make up any story. I'm not that kind of person.
Okay.
When I talk, I'm a man of integrity. I don't believe that I will come up and be making up stories. An Ikwerian who is born, that is, if the father is Ikwere, the mother is Ikwere, the moment such person is growing up, he doesn't need to go to the central Igbo land. He doesn't need to go and stay there. He naturally begins to understand Igbo. It becomes inherent. It's a biological it's his wired
mechanism. Yeah.
He's wired to understand
the language.
Igbo language. That is Igbo. I'm talking about the central Igbo language.
Yes.
He may not even understand. Okay.
Go ahead.
He may not even understand the next Ikwere dialect. Okay. He may not even understand the next Ikwere dialect. Our next neighbors, but he naturally will understand an Igbo and central Igbo man speaking. The one we call early summer. The one we call early summer. They understand. So me, as you see me, I lived in Ijo land. I was born and brought up there. I will say it over and over again. I understand the Ijo language very well, as much as I understand the Ikwere language and as much as I understand the Igbo language. How did that happen? How can my father and my mother lived in Ijo land? Stayed there, oh, we all grew up, went to school and all that. And recently I came to my land to get adopted, acclimatized to the system here. And yet I know how to speak Igbo. Nothing a Southeastern man will speak that I will not understand. There's no way you deceive me. Everything I understand because I am wired from childbirth to understand the Southeastern, the general Igbo
because
language.
it's your language.
Because it's my language. So why am I not wired at the same time? Why am I not wired to understand the so-called Benin language? Why am I not wired? You see how these people are. How can anybody introduce us, carry us to one far away journey where I don't even know? Huh? So the agenda you rightly mentioned we were talking about. This is the only tribe that does not have agenda in Nigeria. Before now, I was telling you this thing now. And I said, no, we need to bring it up. This is the only tribe. You rightly mentioned that we have an agenda now, and the agenda is a collective agenda. This is an agenda between me and you and the rest of us who believe that we should have this movement, we should have this unification. How many of these persons, do they have this kind of agenda in our Ohanese? Do they have this kind of agenda to unify the Igbo in the Ohanese youth wing? What is the essence of that Ohanese youth wing? What are they even doing there? Are they just going to pose as Ohanese youth president? And is it look at these people, disband all those kind of groups there. What are they doing?